Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So today's video is going to be the final video in us putting together the Dear Santa album from Simple Stories. I got it from my little scrapbook store, and I will have links to their website and the Facebook pages down in the more section. So as I start all my videos, I'm going to show you real quick a flip through of everything that we've done so far. And then we'll start off with our first page for today's video. Got a little interaction there. And then we have this. And this is where we stopped. So we're going to be doing the page on the right. We have our red and white stripe. And we're going to take this. This one's not pine. I think, yeah, this one's the pine. So it doesn't go all the way from top to bottom. So we're going to make it nice and even around the edge. And then we just need two 3x4 mats. So we're going to cut those out real quick here. And again, I'm just using Nina Solar White. I know that in this collection, they use sort of like they use a warm white, I think from Basil, if I'm not mistaken. And if you were able to get more of that warm white to use for your mats and you wanted to do it that way, you can feel free to. I just chose to use the white, because for the most part, I don't mind the white border going around. On this particular collection, it is a warmer tone white than the pure white of like the Nina, but I'm okay. I'm okay with that. That way the photos kind of stand out. You could also use craft color paper. You could use black if you wanted to. I think any neutral, you would be okay. Just as long as you're consistent with it for all your photos. Okay, so really simple and easy on that side. This next side is going to take me a second to look through, but I'm trying to find the little Santa face, and I realized that it was clipped in with what do you call it? Like, there's these different cut aparts that weren't all the same size. So you have your 4x3 cut aparts, and then there was a group of them where some were like 3x3, some were 2x2. Like, there were a bunch of different sizes. That's where the Santa is, but I'm trying to find it. I'm like, did I misplace him? Like, where is this 3x3 Santa? And I'm just trying to go through all the bits. I'm gonna put them together, the bigger pieces, and just double check everything that I have to make sure I haven't missed it. And then I think it's this section that I'm like, wait, yeah, because these are all the weird sizes. There he be. So, and then on the other page, I saw this piece, so I'm going to go ahead and pull him out while we're getting the other pieces pulled out. Now, for me with these albums, I know I've said it on previous videos. I look at the photos a lot more than I read what they have written down because I am a visual person. So once I see certain elements, I'm looking like, okay, well, this is what I'm putting together. This is what it's looking like to me. And then I'll kind of read and say, okay, am I missing anything? Oh no, let me go ahead and put this down. That's typically how I do it, even when I'm not recording or I'm just working on something on my own. You know what I mean? But like you can see as we go through, I grab the stuff and then I'm starting to look at it and I'll put it together based off of what I'm seeing in the photos. But I appreciate the fact that they do write everything down to make it easy for anybody, really. You know what I mean? If you're a person who wants, precise steps, this is what you do. step 1, step 2, step 3, then this is good. If you're a person who likes having the steps, but you also like a little bit of the freedom of looking at the photos, you can do it that way too. All right. So on this piece that we're putting up at the top, I'm putting foam tapes on the upper part that's going to be above our card base, not card base, our photo base, the white paper. And I'm leaving the other part of it empty so that way I can slide a photo and have it go up in there when I'm ready for that. And you can see this is a pretty thick binder by the time we're done. Now this one is the 6x8 protector sheet, and it says to cut this grid paper so that it's 6x8, and when you do that you're going to cut off the holes, so that's why you're going to put it inside the 6x8 protector. And then in the, I think it's evergreen paper, you're going to have a 4x6. Here it is. That's going to go right in the center. And then that little like postage piece that I took out earlier is going to go towards the bottom. Just double checking I haven't missed anything. And now I'm looking for the layer bits. I'm looking. I'm like, where did I put? And then there it is. It said something about the gingham heart, and I was trying to find it. This is probably one of the first collections or projects where we actually used up all the ephemera pieces. Not a piece was left behind. There's something satisfying about that. All right, so I'm just putting some foam on the back of the heart. I'm cutting a little piece so that way it's nice and even. And then we're just going to go ahead and put down the 4x6 piece, making sure the dotted side is up. And I love it because it's very faint, but you can see it, you know. Go ahead and put that straight down as even as possible. And then we're going to make this into a pocket. So to make it into a pocket, I'm going to grab some score tape. And originally I was looking for the 1/8 inch, and I decided, or the first thing I grabbed in the drawer was actually a 1/4 inch. So the 1/4 inch will work too. If you have a chance to get an 1/8 of an inch, that one is worth getting for things like this when you want to create something strong as far as, you know, being held down, but you want to have a little bit more room. Like the 1/4 inch is going to take up a lot. Now this sticky thumb tool, I love it because it helps take the backing off the score tape. You just kind of rub at it, and then it'll pull up the edge so you can peel it off. Now the important thing is, if you don't what do they call that, varnish, um it will take up the whole thing instead of just the white tape that you're taking off. So now we have a little pocket. I'm gonna grab that layer bit. Here it is. Slide that in. And then we're gonna put our 3 gems right on the side. And that is it for that page. Oh no, the heart. Just that quick, I forgot about the heart. We're going to take the backing off, add a little bit of glue, and then put the heart right there in the square. And then that's that page. 2 more enamel dots. They like doing that with the enamel dots. They did it a couple of times at the beginning of the album, and I think even on the front cover. So, all right. So now we're going to put that into the 6x8. Oh no, I think we're going to wait. We're going to do the backside. I'm going to grab the black and white gingham and then put it in and put that to the side because I realize we're working on a different background. We're not going to be working on the back of that other paper. And what I like about that grid paper, like if I wanted to put in a photo or other items, I could make right there on the grid and it would be able to be neat. And then we got a 4x6 photo mat, and then we're going to be doing some fussy cutting, my favorite thing in the world, from one of the 4x3 cut aparts. We're going to be cutting out this poinsettia, which I finally found. We have that one. And then we're going to use that last piece in the ephemera bits. So let me just fussy cut this real quick. Thank God I can speed it up on, you know, the video while I do a voiceover. So that way you guys aren't agonizing with me through my process of trying to trim this and have a little bit, I think on this one I didn't put a border because that leaving a little edge around can be annoying. So I'm just trying to cut as close as I can. And then on certain areas, I leave it and I just go back in and cut in different directions. So that way I get all these little bits out. Okay. And then once we get that cut, we're going to be attaching it to the bottom left-hand side. And on this, I do the same thing where I only put foam squares on the area where it's going to be on the black gingham. So that way the photo mat will still be empty and we can, you know, mat our photos. All right. And then we're just going to go ahead and glue down our photo mat, the 4x6. And we're going to do it right in the center. All right. And then I'm just going to lift it up just a little bit, straighten it, make sure it's nice and straight. And then we're going to figure out, I think this is where I want it to go, a little bit further down, right in there. And we're going to put some little bit of glue. And I'm going to put some glue on the back of the 24. Now, how I've been thinking I would have realized, you know, part of the 24 it kind of goes over top of the photo mat. I don't want to stick that down too. So, you know, I had to rub some of that glue off real quick. And actually, while we're doing this, I'm going to double check it to make sure nothing stayed. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So I'll be able to get my photo there. Okay, and then we're putting 3 of the cream colored enamel dots down here at the bottom. I should have put one in the center, one of the cream ones, but I don't have any more. And then we're going to go to the next page. Now the next page is going to be a 4x6 at the top with the 4x6 at the bottom. And to start it off real simple, we're just going to put a 4x6 photo mat in the top one. We'll trim this down a little bit. And then that's how I found out I had it in the wrong direction. Once I found the top or the enter, you know, the way to get it inside. All right. And then for this piece, I'm like, where are my stripes? So as I'm, you know, getting closer and closer to the end, my pieces, I had them all together, but I would definitely say if this is something that you're working on, just probably get you like an iris box or some type of a storage container to where you can keep everything in, because that was probably the hardest part, was just trying to make sure I kept everything together and I didn't want to lose any bits and pieces. So that was my only real struggle during the making of this album. And then we're going to put that layered bit there. And then it says three, I think it says in the photo was supposed to be like three cream ones again. And at this point, you can see, looking at my enamel dots, I have mostly the black ones, because I think there was another time I was supposed to put black enamel dots and I missed it. So they didn't get put on. So on this one, I'm going to be using black instead of the cream. And we're going to go ahead and put that down. And then I always put a little bit of glue with the enamel dots. You guys know I do this only because sometimes that adhesive that is on the backs of them doesn't really secure well. So I just want to make sure that they stay on nice and strong. And then 40, 39, 38, 37. Okay. So we're getting ready to work on, this is page 36, and we're going to have to cut out another ornament. And this time I do try and wind up putting a border around it, which is a pain in the butt, especially with the fussy cutting. It drives me nuts. And I also punch a hole to be able to loop the twine, the baker's twine, to create the ornament look. And in hindsight, I probably just would have made that hole a little bit smaller, but I went up too far on my We Are Memory Keepers tool. But it's okay. It looks good. All right. So on this one, oh, I found it. I think I just found one of the 3x4 cut aparts, and I saved the one that we have to use on one of the pages coming up. I put that to the side, and then one of the other ones, once I made sure they weren't being used, I just grabbed it, and then I'm going to cut out the uh, star ornament. Once again, trying to create a little border around so that way, it doesn't look super tiny. Okay, well, while I'm doing this fussy cutting real quick, I hope you guys have enjoyed this series. I'm probably going to mention it again at the very end, but once, now that this is put together, I'm going to try and go back through and start adding some more of the photos and stuff. And then hopefully before the new year, I can do a video going through and showing the completed book with all my photos, journaling, all the good stuff. So though this is the last one for putting it together, I'll do a final one, and I'll just say the final walkthrough or something like that is probably what I'll call it. Okay, so we got our ornament cut out. Now I'm getting ready to hole punch, and then we'll go ahead and put the twine through. And I save all my little bits of twine as best I can without my cats grabbing it and wanting to play with it. Um, so for moments like this, so I had a small piece, a small enough piece. I just needed it to hook onto the ornament and put my foam squares on the back. Excuse me. And then we're going to just take the backing off, add a little bit of glue, and then we'll go ahead and get this glued down. Okay, and then once I get that down, I'm going to take a little bit of glue and just do a little line straight up. And then after I trim this, I do put a little bit of wet glue right on the edge, just so that way this doesn't like fray. And then There you have it. Okay, so our next page, we're going to grab the lined paper and we're going to use that 4x3 cut apart that I found. And then I have to grab I think it's the evergreen, the darker green. That's going to be like the matte to the photo. And then the pattern paper is the matte for the matte. I like that layered look. I've always loved layered look, especially because when I first started, I was doing the cards. And to me, layers on cards make it feel fancy. It looks just really nice. And doing this one right here with the 3, even though it's going to be a 2x3 photo, it looks so cute. I like the layers. And then after getting the evergreen down, which takes me a second, for some reason, I was having a hard time getting it even. But once I found it just went right down. And then this is a 2x3 matte. And we'll go ahead and put that right there on top. And then we can get the rest of this all attached. Okay. And then let's see, we're going to put down our tape and the wet glue. And I'm lining it up as best as I can to mimic what I see on the photo, where it looks like it's lining up compared to the holes that are already in the paper, and trying to help me with that as far as the angle that I'm trying to create. And once again, it's not that big of a deal. You could put it any way you want, you know what I mean? But this, I'm trying to show you guys, it's really easy to do exactly what they have laid out, and you get a really nice looking book in the end. And then that's it on that one. And now we're on to the next page, which is the back side. And on this one is another one of the layer bits. We have a 4x6 photo mat, and then this piece from Evergreen, which is going to go down right there. And then the 4x6 mat is going to go kind of on top of it. So it sort of creates like a little side layer. So once we cut our 4x6 mat, then we'll start gluing everything down. Okay, we got that. Oh, we got a little visitor. That was Boo Boo. Okay, let's get this glue down here real quick. All right, and then I'm going to put my glue, and then I'm lining this edge up to the top line on the lined paper and up against the line where the numbers start on the left side. And then we're going to go ahead and put down our photo mat. And I'm going to go ahead and back up this, or tape up the layer bit as well, because I want to try and add everything at once. And you'll see that here in 1 second once I get the glue down for the photo mat. And once I got everything kind of even and where I want it, I'm going to put this element and then press the whole thing down at once. And we have to use enamel dots on here, which will be right in the middle. And on that very edge, for whatever reason, it was lifting up. So I just put a little bit of glue. All right. And then we're going to do 2 more. And I always like to do the large, medium, and then small. And on this one, because I'm down to the last little bits, I used 3 colors. So I did the dark green, a mint green, and the last cream colored. And then the next one, we're doing a 4x6 photo mat in the top. Simple. And then at the bottom, I think this was the last one of my bad cuts from the very beginning. And I'm going to show it to you here in a second. Yeah, so I had put some purple tape on it because I wanted to remember um, that piece and that I would need to recut it because I had to get another set of sheets from Michelle. Excuse me. And so I'm going to pull out that sheet and we're going to cut the new section so it's all one and not have to worry about the purple tape. And then my glasses got stuck. Ooh, I felt like I was all over the place. And then cut off this one. And then I just needed to trim a little bit off that one edge. So that's why I had to cut that again. And then there's our 4x6 sheet. And then on the next page, we're going to create this piece, which is a 4x3 photo on the horizontal. That'll go right there. And then I got to grab the 4x3 cut apart that I'm going to have to fussy cut again. But I'm going to go ahead and glue down the photo. Get that in its place because that's not going to move. And then I had the piece right over here. And I wind up mixing stuff up. Trying myself trying to keep it all neat and then I still mess it up. I'm like, where is that piece? And then I realize it's on one of the ephemera bits. It's right there. I'm like, oh, that's it. That's what I got to cut out. So my only suggestion now that I'm at the end and thinking about it, the parts on the cutout sheets, it does tell you what you're cutting, like what you'll be fussy cutting. Like the ornaments, it had you cut an extra long piece so you could get like 5 ornaments out of it. I would go ahead and cut out those ornaments, like get those done. You know what I mean? So then that way, whatever needs to be fussy cut as you're putting it together, it's already there and you can just grab it and attach it. If you're using it where you want to create your page and complete it all at once, photos and all, that's how I would do it in hindsight. Because I did all just the major cuts. I didn't really get down to the fussy cutting stuff until I got to it on the page. So after the backing, because I did put this on foam, give it a little bit of a standout. Put some glue, and then we're going to go ahead and attach that as close to the side as possible. And then over the part that goes over the photo is lifted up, so that way you'll be able to put a photo on there and have it look nice. I put it in the wrong spot. All right. Now over on that left-hand side, it just calls for a 3x4 photo mat. So that's what we're going to put in it. And I'm going to cut my, now, it's funny. My first cut, I wound up making a 3x3 photo mat. And I was laughing at myself because I was like, where did I get this measurement from? But everything's going to be all right. Because we're almost at the end. We're almost at the end. Okay. So we're going ahead and glue this down. This is the last one of our flip sheets. And then we just have the back of the album that we have to do. And I'm going to change something up. So I'm going to show you guys here in a second. Okay. So now that page is done. So now I'm going to bring everything over. And put everything back in because I didn't do those last few because it wasn't really going to let me. So I had to put them all into the side there and then flip it over. So now we're going to do the inside back of the binder. So there's our 4x6, and then it tells us to also get the 4x6 warm, I think it's warm white sheet. And that's going to go up on the top. And from the way they have it in written down, it looks like it's just supposed to be one on top, one on the bottom, glued straight down. But I think what I'm going to do is make a pocket. And I'll show you here in a second. So I'm going to go ahead and glue down the warm white. And what we can do, like, the thought in my mind was, like, if I take a picture of my Christmas cards, or like a Christmas card I've given out, that can go up at the top, and then any of the Christmas cards that we got this year, when it's time to take them down, I can put them in this back pocket, because that'll tie in with the photo. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So right now I just put the score tape all around the 3 edges, and then we're going to use our new favorite tool, pull off that backing. I love it. I mean, it's so easy. It helps so much. Then we're going to put the line of glue and go ahead and put that down just a little bit above the warm white. And then I'm going to take these 3 4x3 cards, or cut aparts, and then just kind of stick them in there. So that way, when the time comes and I want to put something else in there, it already sort of has formed the shape. Okay. So real quick, this was the beginning of the album. And once again, we're doing just a small little flip through. I've already put some photos. We're going to put some more in. And definitely something in those little flips. And I was thinking you could always add more flips in areas if you're someone who has a lot of photos. You don't have to just stick to what they've used, because they only used the 2, but you get plenty in that package. Okay. Well, there you go, you guys. We made it. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions, if you wanted to put the rest of the dots throughout, you could. Just leave a comment down below. And if you are so inclined, please think about giving it a thumbs up. I so appreciate you guys. I hope you're enjoying the series. And like I said at the beginning, links will be down below for my little scrapbook store. Okay. And I hope you guys have a great day.